on the floor here in Westwood. UCLA off to a good start, jumping out to a 4-0 lead. Here's Kiki Rice for the Bruins.
Both these teams starting off in player-to-player. How Oklahoma State's trying to guard Betts. Will try to front her and bring the double. That time way too late.
No stopping Lauren Betts so far. She's got 4 of the 6 as Oklahoma State brings it up. Whiting to Ncaa. Close out. Great block by Ledger Walker. Oklahoma State's got it back. UCLA has the defensive intensity dialed up here right from the opening tip against Oklahoma State as we take a look at the lineups on the floor, brought to you by Capital One with Kiki Rice, third-team All-American. UCLA is getting what they want on the offensive end, and Oklahoma State doesn't have any room to move on the defensive end for UCLA. They are dialed up. Whiting finds an opening, can't connect. Haley Timmer with the offensive rebound. Ncaa was open underneath. They found her in time for the first 2. Oklahoma State on the floor. This is the same starting 5 that they have had for every game all season long. Whiting at the point, Gray's the leading scorer. Ncaa went for 28 and 10 Saturday. Timmer playing in her 6th NCAA tournament game, was at South Dakota State before joining the Cowgirls.
And something we've been seeing more and more from UCLA, the perimeter players spotting up.
That's tries from outside, Christie. The follow by Jaquez on the glass.
And Eric, excuse me, I should have said posting up.
Timeout called by J.C. Hoyts. A great start for UCLA on top 11-2. If you're watching on ESPN. Megan, of course, was with the team for the first part of the season. Last game was February 4th. Didn't play a lot, but an impactful player and an impactful softball player, by the way. One of the very best, if not the best players in the country right now.
Well, one of the best hitters in the country and probably one of the best screeners in the women's basketball game.
You would not want to run into one of her screens. That was the message they sent out this weekend to the basketball team. Jaden Wooten with a travel. Another turnover here for Oklahoma State. There's Corey Close, head coach for UCLA in her 15th season, the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Went undefeated in the conference at 18-0. First time a Big Ten team had done that in 11 years since Maryland did so.
UCLA has so much length, but what they have done extremely well this year is they all can knock down the 3. That's provided better spacing, and that's why you're seeing Oklahoma State just sprinting around the court, chasing UCLA right now on defense.
Sped up right now.
They're definitely sped up on offense, and that's forced them not to be able to get back and get settled defensively.
Foul is called on Oklahoma State. Jaquez looks inside. Betts draws a crowd. A tie-out possession error will give it to Oklahoma State.
Key for Oklahoma State offensively is to create off the bounce. They want to try to get in the paint, force rotations of UCLA, and kick out from 3. J.C. Hoyt was honest with her team. She said, let it fly. Well, if you're turning it over, it's really hard to get the shot up on the rim.
Previous Oklahoma State foul on the way was on Ncaa, who's very important here today at 28 and 10 in the win against Princeton. Undersized 5 player, really with her hands full here today against Lauren Betts, playing from the outside right now.
And you see Betts just protecting paint, staying in there, daring Ncaa to make it from the outside.
Ncaa jumps in, gets the tie-up. Possession arrow gives it back to UCLA. Lauren Betts checks out. Her sister Sienna comes into the game. Sienna coming off her first career double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds against CBU. It was a 10-point game at halftime Saturday, but the Bruins outscored the Lancers 52-9 in the second half. Corey Close said on the halftime talk, I was spirited. We couldn't get the details on how spirited or what was said. Some things stay in the locker room. Picked up by Wooten.
I think, as an example, though, Corey was really complimentary of her players. She said they had already discussed what they needed to do for the most part. I mean, Corey didn't leave anything to chance. She followed up.
Ncaa is fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line. That'll get us to immediate timeout. 4:56 to go. Opening quarter, UCLA by 9. Hoping that it continues north of here in Sacramento. The winner goes on to take on Minnesota at the Golden One Center coming up later this week. Ncaa at the free throw line, 1 of 2 after the foul on Dugalich.
This allows Oklahoma State to extend to a little bit of full court pressure.
Hot pass on the inside. Tough one for Sienna Betts to handle, and a turnover. Here's Staley Hurd back the other way. Oklahoma State, outstanding shooting team. It's a big part of their offense, and they're going to have to make a bunch of threes here today. Here's Whiting taking it at Betts. Back outside, Micah Gray, their best three-point shooter, knocks it down.
Yes, there was an offensive rebound, but that started with a turnover, which allowed Oklahoma State to push pace, and they just got UCLA in chase mode defensively.
Ncaa just picked up her second foul. That's a big call here with 4:16 to go in the first quarter. This is an Oklahoma State team that does not go deep into their bench. They'll bring in Praise Egareva, who plays on average 10 minutes a game, but she's going to have to play a lot of minutes here tonight.
Well, and watching both yesterday and today's practice, though, she was doing a good job in terms of being scout-specific.
Neepkins hits a three. 5 different scores so far for UCLA. Here's Wooten, such a big spark off the bench for the Cowgirls.
But once again, UCLA switching that on-ball screen, so you had Sienna Betts on her. I would have liked to see Wooten try to create. Wooten
kicks it over to Gray, who just made her 93rd three-pointer of the season. 5 on the shot clock for Wooten. Wooten, that was tipped by Betts. Shot clock at 1. Caught the back of the iron, rebounded by Neepkins. Dugalich thought about it. Ledger Walker.
Mismatch down low. You see Staley Hurd trying to front Sienna Betts, and they can't get the ball into her.
Down goes Betts. I don't think that's where the foul was.
Yeah, they're calling Hurd for a
Oh, they're getting it for Hurd. Okay, so Hurd gets called for the foul. That's her first personal. Staley disagrees.
Well, she was working hard.
But the officials thought differently. Hurd gets there for the rebound. Pulls by Neepkins.
And this is where Hurd's at her best.
Gray transition three. No. Hurd, look at her fight on the inside for a rebound. Gray. Timmer wide open for the three. Oklahoma State's got some open looks beyond the arc. So far, able to only hit 1 three-pointer.
Once again, Hawkins trying to post up, but the pass is not on the right spot. Leads to another turnover for UCLA. Lauren as well, 0 for 2 on the season. But everyone else can stretch the floor, and that's why Corey Close wants her team to be aggressive and take the open shot.
Lauren in for Sienna. Hurd. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Wooten. Won't drop. Egareva kept it alive. Much better from Oklahoma State, keeping things alive on the glass.
And I like when they know they can't get it, they're tipping it out to continue the possession.
Hurd, she'll try a three. Another one off the mark. 1 for 7 so far for the Cowgirls.
Well, this isn't just because of UCLA's height. This is what Oklahoma State does on this season.
That's in and out. Dugalich, rather, Hawkins hustled after it. It was last touch by the Cowgirls, UCLA basketball. I know you've touched on a little bit. If Oklahoma State's going to pull the upset, what has to happen? What are the non-negotiables for the Cowgirls here tonight?
They've got to knock down threes, and I'm thinking maybe 12 to 14 threes in this game. They came in today averaging just over 9. The other thing they need to do is create some turnovers.
And they have to hope that UCLA isn't hot from outside. But right now, UCLA is hot from outside. 3 for 4 on threes. After Neepkins hit, now a turnover for Oklahoma State. That's their 5th. Hawkins, little hesitation, got some space, got called for the foul. Little push off on Jaden Wooten, so Jaquez picks up the personal. First personal on Jaquez. Gray checks out for Oklahoma State. Whiting back on. Again, Ncaa, who had 28 points and 10 rebounds in the win on Saturday, picked up 2 fouls here in the first quarter. Hurd, that's off the mark. Betts hauls it in. Off for Kiki Rice.
UCLA will push pace, but they are very comfortable setting up into the half-court offense and looking to execute.
Dugalich, 12 on the shot clock. Back out for Rice. Rice into traffic, draws the contact, and she'll go to the line.
Gianna Neekins is on fire, and credit the coaching staff. They were very scout-specific on how to attack baseline out-of-bounds defense of Oklahoma State. And you're already seeing 2 made threes by Neekins off of tremendous execution by the Bruins.
Neekins will check out. 6 points, 2 for 2 from beyond the three-point line. A couple of rebounds for Gianna Neekins. Honorable mention, Big Ten. Honorable mention All-American as well. Had just 7 points against CBU. Good start here in the first quarter. Foul on Egarevba, her first. And here's Kiki Rice. CBU.
Kiki Rice healthy this season, and you're seeing it just with being more efficient, both from the free throw line as well as from the field this season.
Well, it took a while. She had surgery last April, so she was out of action in the summer months. Hurd off the mark, but there's Rice. But Corey Close is talking about how good Kiki Rice feels, how she's been able to be her best. Most outstanding player of the Big Ten tournament.
It's the versatility of UCLA's lineups that impress me. You just sat Neekins down at 6 foot, a shooter, and you bring in 6'3" freshman Lena Bilic, who can also shoot the 3. This team is long, but they're also fundamentally sound.
So this is a long team. UCLA has a ton of size, but Oklahoma's got to go small right now, yes. Christy, because Egarevba just picked up her second personal foul. So their 2 post players are on the bench right now.
And this is something Oklahoma State has done numerous times throughout Big 12 play. The difference is they haven't exactly gone against a team that player for player has the size of UCLA. What I hope Oklahoma State can do is utilize Hurd's scoring ability, space the floor out, and let her try to create.
Ncaa picked up her second foul with 4:16 to go in this first quarter. Since that moment, UCLA has outscored Oklahoma State 10-0. That's the run right now. Wooten working some clock. About 4 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Oklahoma State trying to end this UCLA run to close out the quarter. 5 on the shot clock. Wooten looking for some space. It's going to be a shot clock violation. And time for UCLA. Plenty of time to get on the final shot. 4 to go on the game clock. Little pressure in the backcourt from Whiting. Rice has got it with 2, with 1. The launch at the buzzer. Looking over the official, wondering where the foul call was. Shot hit the eye.